Gato Perro back with another action figure review. Today on the long-awaited Medicom Mafex The Amazing Spider-Man 2 action figure. And all the way from Japan, the figure finally arrived and I'm so excited to take a look at it. So let's look at the packaging. We got a picture of Spidey up at the top and we got pictures of figure all across the packaging. And this is number 3. On the right we have a picture of Spidey just standing there all cool like. On the other side we have him flipping. On the back we get him in a bunch of poses looking really awesome. And yeah. Let's take a look at the Medicom Mafex Amazing Spider-Man 2. And here's Mafex outside of the packaging, and he does not let down, but there are a couple complaints I have which I will go over. But first, let's take a look at some accessories. Alright, so included are 10 different pairs of hands from bottom to the top. Here are some relaxed hands, open palm hands for wall crawling. There's just some kind of slightly open hands so you can slide in the webs. There's some web flipping hands and fists. And on the other side, we have some webs. The first two these here with the loops are the ones you want to get around his wrist to create the web shooting effect coming out of the web shooter. And the last one, which is the longest one, is the one you want to slide into the hands, which I'll show later. And lastly, we get the Mafex base stand. For the length of the webs, the longest one that you attach to his hand is about 4¼ inches tall, and the one that loops around his wrist for the web effect is about 3½ inches long. And here's Spider-Man utilizing all of his accessories that include the web shooting effect that plugs right into his wrist. The other one includes a slightly open fist with the longer slinging web and the Mafex base that creates some really cool looking poses. Now getting to the sensational artwork that is this masterpiece of a figure that Medicom has done. It basically takes everything that worked well for the first Mafex Amazing Spider-Man 1 figure, and they've taken it and put in this magnificent costume that we got for the second movie, which is the closest it has to the comics, and it turns out really well. Now the only difference between this and the prototype is obviously the paint. It is much more metallic and a bit more darker in shading, the blue and the reds, and I think everything like the spider and the eyes are just fine. But in certain scenes of the movie, I guess it is like this color, for example, when he goes down to talk to Harry to tell him he can't give him his blood. It does look like this kind of tone shade of colors. So it's not completely off, but I do remember being a lot more brighter in the movie. So not bad, but the actual spectacular part about this figure is the sculpting. Absolutely fantastic. Definitely does have the Andrew Garfield build. Kind of a lanky, kind of a Jet Li kind of a build that he has. Very muscular. But at the same time he's very slim. He has very long legs. This is just about the most accurate costume you can get in this kind of scale, aside from Hot Toys. So that's saying a lot for this company and the manufacturers who made this. Really cool looking for the mask. We get the same as last time. We have a plastic screen that kind of just goes over the bottom of it, which is the white. Looking really cool. This creates some reflection, and we have the black trim around it as well. Very accurate webs going all around, all of them individually painted to perfection. There is nothing too sloppy or nothing wrong with this, not unlike the Marvel Select figure. And this one actually does have a pretty cool head sculpt, as in the shape does look just like the movie. Doesn't have a weird thing where it's like he's missing a forehead. You can see his nose. There's no indication of an ear, but I'm pretty sure there wasn't too much. And all the individual scales that were in between every single little web are in there all over across the costume. And we get to the blue, we have kind of like it's not a hexagon pattern, but you know what it is. Basically what every single superhero movie costume has nowadays. Really cool, you can't feel it. Feels really nice. Then we have the spider logo up the front looking really cool. You can make it out. It is kind of I think it's a different color from the web, but it kind of blends in, but it's not too bad. The sculpt of the belts. My favorite part is always being the back spider looking pretty awesome. Long and slim spider legs going down. Then we got this kind of scale patterns, seams that go down on the back of the costume as well as the front of the legs. And finally get to the feet, some pretty cool looking feet. The bottom of his feet are also really well detailed with the spider pattern going across it, with each individual red dot being painted really well. And for my complaints, I only have a couple. The paint is not really an issue to me, I don't really care. It still looks pretty cool. I do expect it to look a little bit different, maybe in the deluxe version. But maybe something that I've seen in other reviews is that this arm is really wobbly. It'll hold its place, for example, if you have it out like this and like that. But just when it's like this, it'll just kind of flop around. I'm not going to mess with it too much. The abdomen is a bit loose as well, but not a big issue. It's not like it just kind of flops down. It'll stay in place, and that will be about it. Getting in closer detail, he does have the web shooters on his wrist on both sides. Each of them painted really well, and they do have some silver details in between on the front and on the side, so it looks pretty cool. But the same as maybe some other figures is that when you attach the web, you cannot have this rotate any other form. So one always look like it's coming directly out of the web shooter. Not too big of an issue. Overall, I gotta say the execution of paint, articulation, And just about the look is really awesome, and it's a 10 out of 10 in that department. Now for articulation, his head will go up that much. It seems like mostly his neck is the one that allows the articulation, but looks pretty high up. Doesn't look too bad. His arms go out that much, as I showed before. He does have a bicep swivel. He has double jointed elbows. He has a single wrist pivot that goes forward and back, and you can turn the peg on the inside to have it go over like in a forward motion. His ab crunch goes down that much. Back, he doesn't really have like a lower torso articulation to go forward and back. It just kind of twists, and it's kind of stiff, so it might just be on mine. His legs go out that much and forward that much, and you can drop the joint as you can see right there, so you can get some really awesome Spidey poses out of that. Double jointed knees. His ankles go down that far. Up to articulation, he does have the ankle rocker as well. For his height, he stands a little bit beneath 6.5 inches tall. Here he is compared to the Marvel Legends Amazing Spider-Man 2 figure, so you can see the difference in comparison in sculpt and everything. And he is just a bit taller, but overall I think I like this guy a lot better. Here he is next to the Marvel Select Amazing Spider-Man 2. Alright, so I would definitely say this is a must-get for a Spider-Man fan or a collector in general, because this is an incredible piece. Mafex has done really well on it. Absolutely great. This is the regular version. The deluxe version will come out next year on January 28th, which I am looking forward to, because I'm hoping that is at least different paint job, because I do want one that is more similar to the movie from like his daylight scenes, rather than this one, which I would consider more of like his nighttime ones where it's facing Green Goblin and stuff like that. Pretty awesome figure. We can get into a lot of great poses. If I haven't convinced you enough yet, then I don't know what else to say. Once again, a really good figure. I would give it a 10 out of 10. Hoping until the deluxe one comes out, that one will probably surpass way above a 10. Great figure, the best one we've gotten so far aside from Hot Toys. But in terms of just the aesthetics and just the efficiency of how well he'll look in poses, is definitely number one. This has been Gato Perro. Please stay tuned for more reviews and stop motions.